Here we go!
Welcome back to MMA Unhinged, and joining us today is Robyn Lynn Trowbridge. Robyn will be fighting at BTC 28 in Sarnia, Ontario this Saturday. So, Robyn, thank you for taking the time and just welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, no worries. So how are you, and just how are you feeling as we approach and are heading into fight week?
Oh gosh, lots of feelings. It's a roller coaster, actually. You spend some time in your day, just not really thinking about it too much, but then it pops up quite a bit, and all those emotions come flowing through. Excitement, anxious, nervous, obviously, but yeah, it's a lot of energy.
Yeah, well, and you just kind of answered my question. With the mental prep that you must take heading into fight week, what are some of the things that you've been able to combat maybe those nerves that every fighter faces in their first match?
Like, what do I do to help combat that?
Yeah, is there something that you or your team have done in collaboration to help you maybe with the emotions, especially it being your first fight?
Honestly, for me, just making sure I stay focused, and I know I enjoy running, so that gives me a lot of mental clarity. And yeah, my team, we're a small team. It's like a family, so we're all there for each other constantly. Through our classes when we train together, and even off schedule classes, they help me communicate and work on things, and they lift me up and let me know things that I'm doing really well. But for the most part, prepping is just making sure I stay focused, and I think that's a lot on me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I talked with Hudson on Friday, and he talked about Ghost House and how special the team it is. Just describe the energy around the gym. I mean, not only are yourself, you're going to be on this card, but some of your teammates as well. So describe the feeling and the emotions just within the gym, everyone working together, not just as one, but as a group as well.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, we all support each other and love each other. And, anytime someone has an event coming up, we all want to be there. And my niece, she's part of the group as well. She just had her smoker. She took a year break. So going to watch her and my other teammate, Abby, they did the same event in London at Adrenaline. And I was just so stoked to watch them and go support them. And leading up to anybody fighting, we all come together and train together and support each other and spar. And whenever somebody has something coming up, the team really pulls through, and we care for each other, so we want to see each other succeed.
Of course. Now I know what the smoker is, but for outsiders that don't understand or aren't in the world or in this area, what are for the viewers? What is a smoker?
So I heard Jesse Bronson kind of call it something like this before. He basically said it's glorified sparring. It's a show they put on, and it's hardcore sparring. There is no real winner because it's not really a sanctioned fight. So it's something to just give you some experience in front of a crowd. And, we're all there, even the other team, like we're all there to kind of help each other get the experience. And so that's basically all a smoker is. You go in for whether it's a kickboxing or just boxing, and I put on a show. No pressure. You learn a lot, a lot from those.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like the experience for the experience for the experience almost.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a lot. So it's really good to have those opportunities to help you get comfortable with what you're putting yourself into. For
sure. Now, before I get further into your upcoming fight, I just want to talk a little bit about how everything got started. I mean, we all start somewhere. So talk about what kind of introduced you into MMA. Was there someone or something that kind of influenced you?
Yeah. Anytime I get asked this question, is the same answer. My niece, she was about, I want to say she was 8. and she wanted to get into a sport. And my brother-in-law, he mentioned, you know, you don't have to go do dance or ballet. You can go do something like there's kickboxing, there's MMA. So she picked that. She started training with Woody. Um, gosh, I want to say the end of 2018, and then we were in Corona training, and then I'd go watch her at CTA. And then after that, my brother-in-law would stay for the adult classes. And then she started staying for the adult classes. I'm like, oh gosh, that's crazy. I got to do the same thing. And my brother-in-law challenged me. He goes, I bet you can't handle training with Jessie Gross. And I never backed down to a challenge. So, you know, here we are about 5 years later. And it's been quite a journey. That's kind of how it all started. You know, COVID kind of hit in 2020, and that didn't really split us up. We went to the park with our pads and gloves, and you know, the rest was history with Jesse. You know, we after COVID, we started training in his basement, and now he's got a garage in his backyard, and we're one big happy family.
Yeah, there you go. You know what? At the end of the day, it's not about, you know, it's not about what it looks like. It's not quality. Sometimes it's quantity is what matters for sure.
Yeah.
Now that being said, you know, there's been fighters I've talked to who may have been gone amateur, and I've asked that question: is there fighters that you look up to? And some of them said, I don't watch UFC, I don't watch Bellator, I don't watch the big shows. I just like to train. But for you, do you watch anything? And is there any fighters that you've looked up to that maybe you like their style, something that you like to replicate?
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of the same way. I'm not really a big sports watcher. If I did watch any sports, it would be UFC, but I don't really follow anybody specifically. Lately, I've been really interested in Patty is his name, Pimblett.
Patty did a bit.
Yeah, he's got quite the personality, and I kind of feel like I can relate. You know, he likes to eat, so I like to eat, but you have to make sacrifices when you're training, and yeah, he's kind of funny.
For sure. And I think we all like to eat. Now, Guns acting apart, I probably got her name wrong. I apologize to your opponent. But for her, your opponent, when you signed to fight her, did you know anything about her or?
No. Yeah,
on the line.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard anything about her at all. Just recently, I discovered who I'm matched with, so I haven't really bothered looking into her too much. Even the Niagara top team gym, I haven't really heard too much of them recently. With the smokers, I've heard a lot of I think it's MPT, MCT, the gym in Toronto and Windsor, and there's a gym in Detroit. So I've heard a lot of those gyms, and they've been participating in a lot of the smokers. But with the Niagara top team, I can't recall seeing them around too much. So I haven't heard anything about my opponent. And you know what? It's kind of good that way. You kind of focus on yourself, and that's, I think, the way it should be.
For sure. And then speaking about yourself, what are the expectations you have for yourself for your first match?
I just want to do a good job, you know?
Of course. You're coming to win. Yeah.
I definitely want to see that I've improved on things that I've been kind of pinpointing about myself. You know, I mean, I'm definitely coming to win, but if I didn't win, as long as I see improvement, you know, it's a learning experience, and you take what you can from it.
Well, the great Conor McGregor said, either you win or you learn.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, with that being said, not to reveal any game plan, of course, but what has been the biggest thing you've worked on during camp? Has it been the physical? Has it been the cardio? Has it been the mental? Has it been just your overall game? Is there a certain area that you've been really focusing on just to prepare you for just your first amateur fight?
Gosh, it's a whole pool of things. Honestly, I can't just pick one. Cardio has been my favorite. I always enjoyed cardio, and if you have great cardio, I think you're going to do well. So always trying to improve that, even though I've been somewhat okay with it. And then, improving things that I'm not okay with. I can admit I need to work on my head movement. That's number one, I think, in a fight. And sometimes I fall short with that. And, you know, if I move my head a little bit more, then might be a better fight. So always working on that. And Yeah, and then like staying focused. You know, some days you're not all focused, just you're up in your head, and that can be problems. So, you know, mental focus is definitely something I want to stay strong with too.
What's an ideal finish for you? Would you prefer a submission or would you prefer a knockout?
Oh,
In a perfect
well.
world.
See, this is my first amateur fight, so I never really even thought about that. I think a submission would be fun. I'd feel less bad about a submission. I know you can't feel bad about beating someone up because you're there to do that, but knocking someone out would be like pretty crazy. So a submission would be a good first win.
And you know, we talked about liking to eat, so that's always something that I think every fighter likes to look forward to after the fight. But I know you're staying focused. But again, we have to eat. So cheat meal. What are your plans after your fight? And do you have a cheat meal in mind? Because I asked one of your teammates, and he said cheeseburgers was on the menu. So what's on the menu for you?
Oh gosh, you know what? Pizza and some alcohol. I wouldn't mind going for some drinks. Yeah. Biggest thing I've been cutting out is alcohol, and I'm not much of a drinker anyways, but so even just cutting it out before the fight, I'm looking forward to having a few drinks when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and you talked about pizza. I think in any town, any city, you're never gonna run out of resources when it comes to pizza. But if you had to choose, and people coming into town for this fight, where would you direct them to for pizza, especially in Sarnia?
Honestly, I might be a little biased, but I can't lie. I work at Marson Bowl. It's a good time, and they have some really good pizza. And it's so hard to resist that while I'm working. That might be why I want pizza.
No, I think a lot of people couldn't argue with that. They have very good pizza. I would go for dressings myself, but I'm biased for that. That being said, so in a perfect world, you know, you're taking one fight at a time, as I hear, but in a perfect world, looking ahead at the end of the year, this fight's going to be in May, the beginning of May. So looking at the end of the year, what ideally would you like? Would you hope to have a couple more fights, or where's your mindset at the moment?
Oh, yeah, honestly, yeah, one fight at a time. That's really all I can say. You see how this goes and how my body handles it. See the outcome. I don't plan on the outcome being anything other than victory, obviously. And I don't know. It just depends with how things line up with other things going on in life. You know, what else I got planned for my life. But yeah, we'll take it one fight at a time.
Yeah, one fight at a time. That's right. And Robyn, the floor is yours. Any sponsors, any shout outs you like to do? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I'd like to do a shout out to my workplace, Marson Bowl and Highway Bowl. It's always a fun time. I'm a very active person, so bowling's always a good time in the small town of Sarnia. So, and a huge shout out to my team. Yeah, Ghost House, excellent gym. Jesse Gross, great coach. He's not in it for you know, the big bucks and the big spotlight. He's in it to see people succeed and be their better selves. And yeah, great coach, great team. Everybody there is just amazing.
Excellent. Robyn, again, thank you so much for taking your time. I know you're heading into fight week here, and I know you have a lot going on. So I appreciate you taking the time for me to do this interview with you. And just go look on May 3rd, and hope to see you there.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate you doing this interview with me.